his corner.
What's up, everybody? I'm gonna go ahead and break down I'm gonna jump right into it. The Shakur Stevenson versus Oscar Valdez fight. I told you I was gonna make a video, a more of an in-depth breakdown, and not just talking so much shit. But shit will be talked if I feel like it. Shakur Stevenson, he's 17-0 with 9 KOs. But the main thing is, who has he fought? Jamal Herring, which I think was a fixed fight. People were saying, oh, he made it look easy by beating the snot out of him. But any real boxer would have bit down their mouthpiece if they were getting beat up that bad and went for broke, went out on their shield. Jamal Herring didn't do nothing like that. And besides that fact, his wife, who's always in the front row supporting her husband, was content to stay in the back dressing room, never looking at the camera, drinking bottles of water, knowing that her husband was gonna take an ass whooping, like it was all contrived. Why would she not be out there supporting her husband unless she knew the outcome already? That's my point. So Shakur Stevenson has never been tested. He's an amazing boxer. He has all the potential in the world to be something great. But even the fact that he beat Jamal Herring like that, and everybody still, look it up. Everybody who saw the fight still thought it was boring. So how can you dominate somebody like Jamal Herring that bad and him not fight back and still get called boring? Timothy Bradley even said it was a boring fight, and I agree. It was super boring. Super boring. So he's gonna have to change up some stuff. He's never been tested. He's never been hit. He's never faced perseverance, adversity. He has no. We haven't seen him have to persevere any type of, anything as far as like competition. And it's not because of who he's fought, but it's because of who he's fought. If that makes any sense to y'all. So like I said, he's 17-0 with 9 KOs, which is not that great. If you look at his record, who he's fought, there's a bunch of nobodies besides Jamal Herring. And there's one other dude. But I'm not even going to count that because that was a boring fight in itself. He just fought on a point base like Olympic fighter to win. Shakur Stevenson is they have him at 5'7". He's of course 24 years old. His reach is 68 inches, and he's a southpaw, which could cause some problems, maybe not. But like I said, Oscar Valdez is going to be ready. He's a different breed of fighter, and Eddie Reynoso is going to be ready. That being said, I like Shakur Stevenson. He's an amazing boxer with a great Olympic pedigree, and he's probably the most skilled technical boxer right now in that division. But he has not been tested. He's not been hit. He's not faced adversity. He's never showed any heart. He's never had to. He's never been through anything that's considered a real fight. On the flip, Oscar Valdez has. So me saying Shakur Stevenson is a badass boxer doesn't matter in this case, because he's about to face a real badass boxer who's been battle tested, and that is Oscar Valdez. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in a little more in depth in a second, but let me get to Oscar Valdez's statistics so you can compare the two. So as far as Oscar Valdez, So as far as Oscar Valdez, he's 31 years old. They have him listed at 5'6" tall, which is 2 inches shorter than Shakur Stevenson, who's 5'8". His reach is 66 inches, which is also 2 inches shorter than Shakur Stevenson, who's has a 68-inch reach advantage. Um, he's has 30 wins, no losses, so they're both undefeated. But those 30 wins right there just tells you something. I mean, compared to Shakur Stevenson's record, I mean, the experience in itself says it all. And as far as the Olympic pedigree and all that stuff, that does mean a lot. But Oscar Valdez has been tested in the Olympics. He's qualified twice in 2008, 2012. He's won gold in a few different divisions in the amateur rankings. You know, the thing is, he's been tested. He's had some hard fights, and regardless of the height disadvantage and the reach disadvantage, it's not going to matter because the way Oscar Valdez fights and his trainer Eddie Reynoso and the whole Canelo camp, they're going to be ready for the southpaw being Shakur Stevenson. They're going to be ready, and Oscar Valdez isn't no stranger to fighting southpaws, you know. So he's going to be ready. He's going to be ready. And I really think what it's going to come down to is who shows up. And what I mean by that is if Shakur Stevenson shows up and fights like he did with Jamal Herring, like really aggressive, then Oscar Valdez is going to whoop his ass like bad. He's going to put it on him because, you know, I mean, he might get busted up a little bit. I'm expecting that. I'm expecting that because Shakur Stevenson is so sharp and his boxing skills are so great. He's going to hit Oscar Valdez, but Oscar Valdez will hit him as well, and he's going to dig into him hard. So, I mean, I don't think Shakur Stevenson is going to want that. So, what I think is going to happen, that's the first thing. That's the first possibility. The second possibility is Shakur Stevenson isn't going to want to get into that type of fight. So he's going to resort to his previous styles of fighting other guys. And he's going to run and try to outpoint Valdez. But still, Valdez, like Eddie Reynoso and all them, are going to have a plan. They're not going to go in there blind and not know what's going on. They're going to go in there and they're going to attack. They're going to put the pressure on him. And they're going to put the heavy pressure on him, like Maidana style. That's what I'm expecting. And they're going to chase him down the ring, similar to Pitbull Cruz versus Gervonta Davis. It's gonna be something similar like that, and we're gonna see if Shakur Stevenson can weather that storm, you know. But if Oscar Valdez is gun shy and reacts like Jojo Diaz versus Devin Haney, or Herring versus Shakur Stevenson, then it's gonna be all Shakur Stevenson in a dominating fashion. But I don't believe Reynoso and the Canelo camp is going to allow that. I think it's going to be a war. It has potential to be one of the fights of the year if Shakur shows up to fight and Oscar Valdez fights back and they don't disappoint the fans. And if they disappoint the fans, it's going to be a boring ass fight on Shakur Stevenson's part and Oscar Valdez's part, and they're both to blame. But I don't see that happening. Somebody's O has got to go. And that's the bottom line, you know? So, basically, All right, so my final prediction is going to be one of two ways. If Shakur Stevenson shows up and fights Oscar Valdez like he did Jamal Herring, he could possibly knock down Oscar Valdez once or twice and eke out a unanimous decision. But Oscar Valdez is not Jamal Herring. He's not going to stand there and let his ass get kicked like Jamal Herring's pussy ass did. No, he's not. Oscar Valdez and Eddie Reynoso, they got a plan. They're coming for war. They're going to put that pressure on Shakur Stevenson. They're going to test the heart that we don't know he has. So until he proves his heart, we don't know. We know Oscar Valdez has heart. Granted, Shakur Stevenson is a great, excellent, technical boxer with a great ring IQ, but so is Oscar Valdez. He has a great Olympic pedigree, amateur pedigree, and we know he's battle tested and has heart and has faced adversity, unlike Shakur Stevenson. So, that being said, plus the camp that Oscar Valdez has means the world of a difference. So, it's gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be fight of the year, probably one of the fights of the year, as long as Shakur Stevenson doesn't show up and run like a bitch. If he runs like a bitch and tries to play it safe and makes it a boring fight, I can still promise you Oscar Valdez is gonna not be like Jamal Herring. He's gonna pressure that motherfucker and he's gonna put it on him and make it an ugly fight. And he is going to test Shakur Stevenson's heart, mind, body, soul, and boxing skills. He's going to put it on this boy. Mexican pride, like for real. He's going to show him how Mexicans do. He's going to represent. I like Shakur Stevenson. He's an amazing boxer. But, like I said, he's never been hit. He's never been tested. None of that. His hardest fight was Jamal Herring. And before that, he did fight this Mexican dude. I forgot his name. But it was a boring fight. He resorted to his Olympic style scoring points and winning by decision, you know? So I have a feeling he's not going to take any risks like he did versus Jamal Herring, because Oscar Valdez is not Jamal Herring. He's going to probably resort back to pity patting and scoring points and trying to eke out a decision. And if he does that, I'm going to lose all respect for him. But if he goes in there and tries to finish Oscar Valdez, then I'll give him props. Unless Oscar Valdez shows up like Jojo Diaz versus Devin Haney and doesn't fight and fights like a pussy. But I don't think Eddie Reynoso is going to allow that at all. That's what I'm saying. Everything is leaning towards Oscar Valdez, from his camp to his style to his aggression to his experience, and none of that is with Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson is basically going in there by himself, like I said. And of course, there's only two people in the ring that night, but their entourage, their crew, their backing, their people makes a big difference. And I really feel if I had a bet with Vegas, I'm going to say Oscar Valdez will stop him between the 8th and 10th round, unless Shakur Stevenson side throws in the towel. If they don't throw in the towel and Shakur Stevenson fights like a man and fights hard, he could possibly win a unanimous decision over Valdez. But if I had to pick and I had to put money on it, I'm going with Valdez by late stoppage. So, like, subscribe, comment, blah, blah, blah. Send me money, etc. War Valdez. Hey, I hope for a good fight. God bless everybody. Peace.